Guess who's back on the KJ Today Show? It's Patrick Warburton.
Hello, KJ. How are you? Good to be
Ah,
back.
it's so great to hear your voice. And we're here in Indianapolis, which you were just here a couple days ago for the world premiere of the Duel.
By the way, the best premiere I've ever been at in my life, that big, beautiful theater. We were full. We had the orchestra outside. They delivered us in the classic cars. I was in an old vet. I think it was a 58 vet. But love Indianapolis. We had a great, great time shooting there. And it was special because it was during COVID, so a lot was shut down, but we were all in a bubble. And the cast, which meant that, listen, we all COVID tested every morning, but if, at night we could all go out and do, a little karaoke and drink together in a barn, because we were allowed to, I guess.
It was such a wild time. And to think, I want to make sure I get this out right away, especially, here in Indy, because this movie has so many connections. It was, it's made by an Indiana film company. It was shot here in Indiana. The premiere was just here. And tonight, it's one night only, sort of across the country, but we are having showings here in Indianapolis where you can see the Duel with Patrick Warburton and this incredible cast. So let me make sure I get that out right away, because I don't want people to not have the opportunity to see it, tonight in theaters. And then let's get back to that. Was it 4 years ago that you were shooting this, Patrick?
It was 3.5 years ago that we shot it, and but it takes that time like this. This is an independent film that Lionsgate is putting on 500 screens, and that just doesn't happen. So it's a huge vote of confidence, and it was great working with Pegasus, and of course, Justin Matthews, Luke Roberts, who both wrote and co-directed this, are so talented with a huge future ahead of them. The cast was great. Dylan was awesome. Danny was awesome. Hart was awesome. Callan was awesome. The ladies were awesome. Rachel Matthews. I love that there's Hollywood, royalty in this film, because Joe Matthews, Justin Matthews, who wrote and directed it, and Rachel Matthews, who stars in it, are all their brothers and sister, and they are the grandkids of Michael Landon.
Oh, wow.
And there's so much talent in that family. Yes, and their mother is Leslie, and she was Michael Landon's daughter, and she and Brian, their parents, are lovely people. It's just a beautiful family. It is a great family.
And I would love to know your thoughts when you first got the script, because when I, saw the trailer, just thinking about, what, why not go back to just a nice 18th century duel to get the girl? What were your first thoughts when you were seeing this?
Well, I love the concept, and I love the way they wrote it, and we're navigating this story. And I felt so much was on the page when I read it, and that lets you know that some freedom to create an interesting character that will fulfill the steps of the story. That's going to get you from A to B. So it's a dark comedy, and also tragic, but it works. And Lionsgate was able to recognize that and said, look, obviously everything goes to streaming, but we like this movie. It's special. We're going to put it on 500 screens. And so that's huge.
And let's talk about you've had quite an exciting adventure in the world of comedy, and in particular, satire. So you're back in a comedic role. Can you talk about what it's been like to, play some iconic characters that then, culture changes a little bit and there's backlash of what you're doing? It just seems like there's sort of this back and forth constantly with what's acceptable and what's not. How is that feeling for you right now?
Well, it's fine, there was a minute there where you could go after everything from, Friends to Seinfeld, about things that were okay then and not okay now. But I think they're kind of okay again. This is the thing, centuries ago, the court jester had immunity. The court jester could literally say something in front of all the people and the king, try to be funny, not be funny, offend the king, but he was not going to get his head chopped off because he had immunity. So, within the realm of satire and comedy, there has to be immunity. There has to, because we have to have satire and we have to have comedy, whether it offends people or not. And even, long before any movements, whatever you want to call them. My parents have hated Family Guy since day one because they're very, very religious. So, these would be people on the far right that had problems for 23 years with the show because they found it offensive and literally blasphemous. And I'd have to explain to them that, look, it's an equal opportunity offender show. If it's not for you, just don't watch it. But it's not blasphemy. It's called satire. It's a comedic form as old as time. I don't have to explain it to you, Mom and Dad, but that's what it is. Don't watch it.
I've got a couple of questions that came in from people who are listening today. One of them was Jen, who brought up, you've had such a diverse career. You're able to play Joe on Family Guy, but then there are people who absolutely love that you voiced Kronk in Emperor's New Groove. Is there any particular character for you that you just never tire of playing or would want to go back to?
Well, when I got to portray Lemony Snicket in a series of unfortunate events, that was a fantastic sort of departure in the sense that, well, first now we're talking about live action, but someone who is so thoughtful and empathetic and with a great deal of compassion and perspective and interesting and smart, as opposed to a lot of the adults or insane people I play by. If I'm having fun, it doesn't matter what I do. I really don't, you don't tire of it. I still have fun doing Family Guy. We've been doing it for 23 years. You got to keep things like that moving forward. I have a different attachment for Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove because I'm a Disney file. I've loved working with Disney throughout the years because Disney is a part of my DNA. But look, I've been doing this for 40 years. So, of course, when I look at my IMDb, there are shows, and I don't want to name them, but, like sitcoms, certain sitcoms that I might have been a part of that I might have had to do for a 3 or 4 year period. Because I have a family of 6, I got to pay the bills. I would just say yes and do it. And it was a job that would pay the bills. It wouldn't make the needle go in either direction.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of would stagnate there. But you're going to have great opportunities, and and some of them are just a paycheck.
We are talking with Patrick Warburton. The Duel, you can go see it tonight in theaters, a very special showing, and then it's coming out on digital and all of the platforms August 16th. Patrick, before I let you go, you're a guy that gives back, and I always like to highlight those things on this show and give you an opportunity. I know you're a huge animal lover, and you also do a ton for St. Jude. Is there anything right now that you have going that you want to put a spotlight on in terms of the charity work that's important to you?
Well, I was just in Memphis actually, and I was asked to speak to the National ALSEC, St. Jude convention in front of 1,700 people, all involved with St. Jude. So that was a great honor. I started an event for St. Jude 14 years ago, and by year 3, I believe we were the number 1 event of its kind in the nation for St. Jude. So last year we were able to raise over $5 million at that one event alone. It's a great one. It has a lot. It's all about music. We got the most amazing band out of Nashville, Six Wire. They back up everybody. So we'll have 9, maybe sometimes 9 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame artists get on stage in one night. And Stephen Stills, Michael McDonald. We've had Alice Cooper, Robbie Krieger, Alex Lifeson from Rush. Ed Roland, Huey Lewis, REO Speedwagon, and they all come out. St. Jude inspires so many, and it's just been a great thing to be a part of. But that's our charity, my family, St. Jude. It's a big 4-day event, so 6 months out of the year, it's trips out to the desert for, board meetings and whatnot. But it's the greatest hospital in the world for so many reasons. I could talk about St. Jude for hours, but that's our charity, yeah.
Well, thank you for the good work that you do with St. Jude, Patrick, and it's always a pleasure to have you here on KJ today. Looking forward to the Duel tonight in theaters, and looking forward to chatting with you again sometime soon here, Patrick. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, KJ. Indianapolis, much love. Indeed.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
All right. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining me for another celebrity interview. KJ Today, where you'll find the positive vibes of pop culture, people to know, and pets. If you like this interview, please make sure you give it a like, rate, review, and subscribe. And join us on YouTube the first Wednesday of every month for the full KJ Today show, where we play trivia, bring you more celebrity guests, and even a pet of the week to keep you feeling the positive vibes.